Hey, it's Derek with Vice Grip Garage. Behind me sits this beautiful 1980 Chevrolet Silverado, and I'm getting ready to refresh her from bumper to bumper before I send her down the old auction block. And a guy got to thinking, well, maybe I should bring you fellers along for the ride so you can see what I look for and what I replace and fix to maximize my profit. And I don't know, maybe it'll help you out too. That would be nice. Well, the first thing a guy's got to do is, world tour. You got to drink it up, take it all in. And I know you already did that because you bought the thing, but the trick is you got to do it again under the eyes of the market or the guy or gal that's going to buy the rig, which typically means stuff that normally wouldn't bother you. It's going to have to, and you're going to have to address it if you want to make a profit. So let's go for a walk and show you what I'm talking about. So here's what we'll do. I'll run you around the exterior. We'll look at the interior, and then I'll get you under the power barn. And you guys can take your notes, and I'll take mine, and then we'll compare them, see what we come up with, and get a list of things to do, and then we'll just knock them out and see what this thing turns out like. This truck's originally from Michigan, and then it spent the rest of its life here in Minnesota. And for Minnesota, this is a straight truck. It's not perfect, but it's up there. They're a little harder to find, but don't be discouraged if that's what you're looking for. Dark carmine red is the color on it, which you don't see a lot of actually. And usually if you do, the insert has some sort of paint scheme, but not this guy. It's a BIG10 model, and don't confuse that with the medium 10. And then she's got the Silverado package added to her. Let's jump in the interior and I'll kind of show you what we got going on there. Overall, interior's in pretty good shape. We don't have any digitals over here. Seat's in good shape. Floor looks to be pretty good shape. There's no rust in any of the floorboards. Unfortunately, someone did cut a CD player in there, and while they're convenient, they're not good for the Chevy purists. They can be repaired, but it is a little time consuming. Another thing down here is this trailer brake controller. That's usually a ding as well for potential buyers because they assume it's been beaten on and transmission's done. I kind of like it because it's period correct, so I'm going to leave it. The odometer shows 23,000 miles. And is it 123 or 23? Well, it's hard to say. I've got a pile of paperwork here. All of the original documentation, including the original warranty, all the way down to the loan paperwork. But unfortunately, nothing that indicates mileage. So what I usually look for is, down here on the foot selectors, go fast, go slow pedal. Usually that's worn down a lot, and it's not on this one. I mean, it looks virtually new. And then high mileage trucks, this will be all gummy and wore down, and it's not. Same with the old bolt selector. Seat will tell you a lot. If this is blowing out, you're definitely over 100. This is in great shape. Same with the armrest, especially on the old Chevys. High mileage ones, this starts splitting and peeling up. This isn't. And then the door. If the door shuts nice like this, you've typically got a low mileage unit. So I'm not saying she's, a 23K truck, but maybe, I don't know. Run over here to the passenger side. A little bit of the same flavor. Door opens really nice. Very clean. Belts are all in good shape. I'll fire it up for a second and then we'll get under the hood there. Runs really good. Quiet muffler on it. Always starts. So mechanically, I'm gonna do nothing, to be honest. I think she's just fine. Under here we got your garden variety 350 trans, and she's got the 308 rears, so you know, she'll run 70, 75. She's got the long legs in her, is what I'm saying, which is nice for today. Thankfully, she's not smogged down. That's bonus points. Guy always wants to look at that. You can delete that stuff, but man, is that a nightmare. And there's already a couple things in here that I think I can do to kind of spruce her up a little bit, so I'll dig you in. Here's a closer look at the mill there, and she hasn't been touched. I mean, right from the factory. A reminder that GM changed their engine color there. And stuck with the blue for a while before they got into the black. A couple things that I'm seeing right off the bat is the fenders, the firewall. I'm going to clean all that up. The air cleaner is going to come off. I'll spritz that up with some flat black. That'll just pop because that's obviously the first thing you look at. And then this is just driving me nuts. So hood insulation, that'll come down and we'll snip in some new hood insulation. This is easy to do and it's really cheap. And I think that's pretty much it. We'll just kind of clean up what we can here and there and just, you know, let her sit like a time capsule. Don't need to overdo her under here. Well, the guy grabbed his iPad here and made a list of stuff to try to accomplish. I'll read this off and maybe some of ours match, and then I'll walk around and hook your peepers on this a little bit closer and show you what I'm talking about. Paint the air cleaner, of course, clean the inner fenders, firewall up. Hood insulation, that's wrong. Wheels, I gotta paint them and get them corrected. Buff the paint, do some paint correction. That's a big task, but it's got to be done, and you just wait. It's going to look really good. Just wait. Door panels, I'm going to replace those. Deep clean the whole interior out, all the glass and chrome and stainless. I got some really good spray away products for that. Add some floor mats. I got some bed rail caps to put on here. This old girl had a topper on it. Chris stopped by a couple weeks ago and we took the topper off, and honestly, I like toppers. I think they look pretty neat on some trucks, but they just don't sell right. I'm going to paint the wing window frames and then also replace the front grille emblem here. And that's my list. I think it should look pretty snazzy, and we can do that on a fairly small budget. And it should shoot down that auction line just fine without breaking the bank. And maybe I can make some money. I got bills to pay. Here's a test spot on the paint, and this is just with some turtle wax and hand polishing. And I'm going to run the machine probably over 90% of this, and then I got to dig out the elbow grease to get around all the trim and emblems and things like that. But I mean, you can even see where fingerprints are bringing out some better shine. So we'll do that. And then up here on the grill, this emblem, she's down. I mean, it's had its day, so we're going to replace that. Kind of spendy, but it's worth it. I found the original door key hidden behind this push bumper. I was contemplating taking these off, but you know what? I think I'm going to leave them for two reasons. I don't like them, but you also don't see them a lot anymore because everyone does take them off, so those will stay. This is wrong, doesn't bother me, but again, the Chevy purists, this trim ring normally goes on Chevy wheels like this. These steel wheels normally just had that poverty dish in the center, and that was it. and I'll show you what we're up against here. This is kind of what it'll look like, but new paint. So we're gonna bust these wheels off, sand all this down, primer them, and then we're gonna paint them with some lacquer this time. So those will look sharper. Bed rails, this had that topper, and had it been clamped on, I would just leave the paint, because I think that shows nice on older trucks. If you have good bed rails, let them hang out there, but this one was bolted through. So I gotta do some rust treatment here, and then we'll cap it off with some stainless steel. Same with the tailgate. That's these guys right here. Got some floor mats, the kind of-ish match. These are the door panels we'll put in, and to me that just kind of sticks out when you open this interior, and it looks pretty decent, but you can see the sun fade. So we'll replace this here, get that taken care of. Vacuum all this out, clean it up. We're gonna use all that spray away product. We can also use that same product to get all this stuff out of the doors. Clean this up really nice. This is a rust-free truck. We want that to just sparkle, you know. Same with the door sills there. So that's a guy's to-do list. I'm gonna start by getting this up on jack stands, and we'll snip these wheels and tires off. And let's get those painted and back on the truck, and then we'll move on to something else. Yep, sure, close enough. That's biting onto something. This old girl is heavier than I thought she'd be. Now I know what a guy's thinking. This is the easiest part. Just gotta pop this chrome off and we're good to go, but it's not. I mean, you got people using screwdrivers and jack handles and cat's paws, and stop it. You're ruining them. You're bending all this stuff up, and they don't make this anymore. You got to use the right tool, which is the Trim Puller 2000. I got this one at Walmart. It's real nice, and it works well. Just get it in here like that. See, and it just eases it out of there, and you don't bend it up or leave marks. Same with the cap. Nice and easy, just like that. That worked nice. Get off of there. As I'm loading them up here, I'm hitting them with this gunk foamy engine degreaser. And by the time a guy gets to town, that'll have worked its way in there. I'm gonna take them down to the old bubble spray wash, you know, and soak these down, get all the mud and brake dust off of them. And it'll be a little bit easier sanding on them and getting them ready for paint. Back from the wash, they cleaned up pretty good. This is the part that's really not fun. And you just gotta get in here and dig, start sanding. This was the worst one, so that's where I started. And of course you got your hand sanded later. Got my toenail grinder. I got my whirly woo with my cheek poker on here. And this is kind of the variety of tools that you need to get in here and work these wheels. If you have a lot of patience, some of these pits, like this stuff here, I worked a few of those out right here using the toenail grinder and then coming back over it. So probably, I don't know, 20 minutes a wheel. Great. Got my valve stem remover in there. Yeah, and that one took right about 22 minutes, 23 minutes. Hopefully the others aren't that bad, but this is a pretty rotten wheel, to be honest. There's a lot of pits in there that, you know, she's just gonna have to be good enough. And what we'll do next is we're gonna knock this puppy off the bead, because I know you're thinking, well, how are we gonna paint that without ruining the rubber? I'll show you. And yeah, I know, you know, sandblast that's faster, but guess what? That costs money. So we're just gonna use some elbow grease and keep going. I'll wheel this one out of the way and on to the next. I'll catch up with you guys when I'm done with all of them. Well, finally got all 4 done. This one wasn't too bad. The other ones they needed some work. After I got them done with the initial elbow grease and grinding and whatnot, I busted them off the bead, and then I took the wheel weights and I moved them to the inside, and I did that by moving them to the inside. And then I cleaned up where those were. And I'm gonna leave the valve stems because, well, those are 30 cents a piece, you know. But honestly, I'm out and it's 2 hours of town and back, so I'll just tape them off and let them ride. And you're probably thinking, this is an awful lot of dinking around. Why didn't the guy just powder coat them? Well, where I'm from, it's 50 to 70 bucks a wheel, and then you gotta dismount and mount the tire again and yada yada. If I was doing a full restoration, you know, guy would do that, but we're not. We're just refurbing. So, time to get these things masked off and painted. So you're probably sitting there thinking, Derek, you got 3 tires and trash bags here, bud. But that's how I tape my wheels off, you know. You don't have to diagramical engineer paper or some sort of other stuff. This works pretty slick. I'm going to show you how to do it. I've been doing this a long time. Just get a trash bag, you know, one of those flexi units. This is a hefty Force to Flex brand. And just lay them over the wheel. Get her squared up on here, you know. You want it pretty centered up. Just like that. Find the center, which is about right there. Grab onto her, just about like hay. And then on GM steel wheels, you want to go from about here to the edge of the wheel, here to here. Some other wheels, you'll have to figure it out. You might have to burn off a couple bags, you know, until you get there. But I'm going to come in here and just hold that, snip her off, and basically you end up with something like that. If you guys folded up paper and made snowflakes, I know you're following along. Then all the guys got to do is just get her in here, you know, because you already busted this bead off. Slip her around the wheel like this. And you can either stop here, because you're pretty well covered, like that, or if you want the extra, you know, protection, grab that top layer and just, you know, work it around, get it around here, and just go slow. You don't want to rip the bag off. And just like that. There you go. You got one tire masked off. Now you can really dig that paint in here, you know, around these lips and whatnot. You don't got paper towers and all that stuff. What kind of an animal is that thing? Something with wings. Anyway, I'm going to clean these up, and then we're finally going to start painting these things. Thank goodness. To clean these up nice before primer, I'm going to use the Sprayway glass cleaner. I've been using this stuff for, I think, going on 15 years, honestly. It's literally the only stuff I use. This really, really cleans well, and it dries super fast, so you're not going to sit around waiting for it to dry. And I just hit these up like this, and I'll come around and just wipe them down, and then we're ready for primer. I just hit these with brake clean, and I'm already coming up with tons of stuff. For paint, I'm gonna go with a lacquer this time. I just got a white Rust-Oleum. I think it was from Home Depot or something like that. And in my opinion, lacquer, it's a little bit tougher of a paint, and it's not gonna fade as bad as a basic enamel with the sun shooting down on it outside. And it also has a really, really shiny finish, much better than enamel. The downside is she's a little bit trickier to paint. If you try to jam this in there like you do enamel, you're gonna have some bad runs. I mean, I'm talking worse than Mexican food night. You gotta take her easy, and you're gonna have 6, 7, maybe even 8, I don't know. Very light coats, just misting them in there. But when she's done, man, is it gonna look good. Guy went ahead and let these cook overnight, so we can handle them and whatnot. And they look, they're okay. We don't want them to be perfect though, because otherwise they'd look a little weird on the truck. So this will be just fine. We'll pull these bags off, get the beads back on them, and then clean them up and mount them on the truck. I don't know if you can hear that, but my neighbor's been riding wheelies on his four-wheeler for about 40 minutes, and I like it. It's good. Anyway, let's pull these off. There you go. No overspray on the tire whatsoever. Simple, easy. Well, what did I use? Aircraft tape? I don't understand this. Help me understand why this is sticky like this. There we go. Turns out it's just painter's tape. Okay. Where do you want the pressure on these? Huh? 35? Okay. Get on there. Thank you. Appreciate it. That one's gonna go. You don't want to get too carried away when you get them off the bead or let them sit too long, because then you just gotta fight getting them back on the bead. But you could just throw some fire maker around the wheel and light her off with a torch, and they'll come right back around that way too. Something like that. Guess I could have greased these a little bit, but that's okay. I went on the line and interwebbed up another set of hubcaps. I got one, it's odd, it's just one is shot. Must have had her pointed towards the sun. They're supposed to be new old stock, but you know how that goes. You just don't know. So I'm gonna wait until I get the other 4, and then I'll dig through, I guess there'd be 7 good ones, and a guy will pick out the ones I like, and then I'll, bang them on at that time. Plan? Good. You gotta make sure to just use your back here, normally a guy would wire wheel this down and, some black or something, but she's got the factory stickers on there and everything still, and I think I'm just gonna leave it alone. Now that the wheels are back on, it already looks 23.764% better. Now's a great time to shine up the tires, because they're dangling there, and a guy can work all the way around them. You don't got to fight to get on the bottom half. You've been there, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to use the all-new Sprayway Tire Shine High Gloss. See how this stuff works. Sure, something like that. Get out of here. Directions just say shake, spray, let her sit up for 5 minutes. She's got a hefty spray on her. I like that. While that tire gloss is cooking, I'm gonna pop this new emblem in the grill here. Some of this here is a little bit faded on a guy, so I got her out. I'm just gonna, touch her up a little bit, because you can see it just slightly through the grill. This bow tie is a certified GM product, and you can see how that's gonna make that, front end just stick right up in your face. Nice piece. The spray white tire shine's looking good. Yeah, that emblem looks a lot better. It just does. This stuff really had its work cut out for it. These tires are 18 years old. The date code on it is 3302. So that's the 33rd week, 2002. So I mean, they're dry. And it did really good. Plus, it smells like cherries. Well, I think while the guy's got the back end up in his teeth here, it's easier to sand this bumper down and paint it, so might as well go ahead and do that. Just gonna get the DA out, I think, and I got some silver, just generic rattle can, and we're gonna do it the same color, because this was a option, the colored step bumper. Okay, here we go. I mean, this is probably good enough. We don't need it perfect. I just need this to turn out more gooder. So I'm just gonna finish cleaning this down, and then quick primer, throw some paint on it, call it good. Yep, sure. This is why you always hang on to these coupons. They're good paint keeper downers, 11% off? Get in there. Get all the way back in there. Yep. Nailed it. I'm back again. Got a danged old hair in it. Whatever. Guy's got the door rolled up now. I don't got a fan out here like I do in the back room, and well, for a minute there I thought I was a tow truck driver in Pennsylvania. Anyway, got some Rust-Oleum enamel here. She's a eggshell, stainless steel. She's got just a touch of flake, and I think this should look pretty close to the factory color. Sure. Boy, this stuff comes out right now. Kind of hard to just mist her in there. There. Gonna let that set up a little bit. Then I'll come back and make her eat one more heavy coat, and she's done. Well, there we go. Gonna let her sit and cook. And then I'll pull the tape off, mask off this again, and then shoot this down here with that flat black, and that'll look fine. A little tricky spraying that diamond tread, but you'll get there. You just gotta angle her around. Well, the door panels I ordered for this showed up, and surprise, they're junk. And the hubcap laters still aren't here. So I think we're gonna shut this episode down for now, and we'll swing back through with part 2. We did get a lot done though. I mean, it looks already a ton better. Part 2 will tackle the engine bay. We got the interior to finish, and the door panels and cleaning it. We've got the bed caps, and then the big job, buffing this thing out. And then we'll drop her down on the ground and scoot her outside and let the sun hit it and see how it looks. I think it's going to turn out surprisingly pretty good. And I don't have much of anything as far as money into it right now. So if you're not subscribed, be sure to do that. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. I appreciate all you guys watching very, very much. We'll see you soon. Where did I put my soda pop? I always lose this. Soda, come here. Where are you at?